Welcome to this explainer. If you've been following our previous deep dives, you know we're used to a world of strict order. Relational tables, precisely defined columns, everything exactly in its place. But today, we're leaving those rigid rows and columns far, far behind.
Because, well, what happens when your data is just messy? Or it's constantly evolving, or maybe deeply nested? Today we're exploring PyMongo and MongoDB. We're stepping out of the strict realm of SQL and into the highly adaptable and honestly fundamentally different world of document databases.
Here's our agenda for today. First, a new database paradigm. Second, decoding MongoDB terminology. Third, core PyMongo operations. Fourth, the power of schemaless design. Fifth, embedding and aggregation. And finally, making the right choice.
Let's jump right into Section 1, a new database paradigm.
So in a traditional relational database, you absolutely have to define your columns up front, right? Every single row must adhere to a strict, rigid grid. But MongoDB is a document database. Data is stored as individual, flexible documents that look practically identical to JSON objects. This is a massive shift because it speaks the native language of the web. It completely removes the need for those clunky translations between Python and your database. If one item has 3 attributes and the very next one has 15, no problem at all. The database handles it flawlessly.
Moving right along to Section 2, decoding MongoDB terminology.
To make the jump to MongoDB, you really just need a simple mental mapping. What you used to call a table in SQL, that's now called a collection in MongoDB, and an individual row is now a document. It makes perfect sense when you think about it. A collection is exactly what it sounds like. It's just a group of flexible documents.
Now for Section 3, core PyMongo operations.
The operational flow here is beautifully straightforward. It mirrors the standard database interactions you already know, connecting, inserting, querying, and updating. But the real magic is that it relies entirely on natural Python dictionaries instead of handwritten SQL strings. That means absolutely no more messing around with concatenating strings or writing raw SQL queries.
Let's look at the connection first. After you install the package, you establish a real connection using MongoClient. From there, you access your specific collection through incredibly simple attribute access. You literally just type client.mydatabase.users. It really is that clean. You're just chaining attributes together.
To add data, you simply use the insert_1 or insert many methods, and you just pass in a standard everyday Python dictionary. That's the whole shebang. MongoDB takes your dictionary and automatically slaps on a unique identifier known as the _ID field, which basically functions as your primary key.
Now, what's genuinely interesting here is the query syntax. Think back to SQL for a second. You had to write out a whole select from string, right? With PyMongo, you just pass a matching Python dictionary right into collection.find. You literally just hand MongoDB a template of what you want to find. It feels incredibly native to Python.
Updating works in a very similar way. It takes 2 arguments. First, a filter dictionary to identify the exact documents you want. Second, a change dictionary. Now notice the special $set operator here. That tells MongoDB precisely which fields to modify. Without that, you might accidentally overwrite the rest of your entire document, and nobody wants that.
Let's move to Section 4, the power of schemaless.
Imagine you're building a massive, diverse e-commerce platform. If you used a strict SQL table, combining something like electronics and clothing into one table would be an absolute nightmare. You'd have columns for screen size and battery life that are completely blank for t-shirts, and columns for fabric type that are just sitting there blank for laptops. It's a massive waste of space and adds so much complexity. But with MongoDB, both of those items happily coexist in the exact same collection, naturally containing only the fields that are actually relevant to them.
We see this exact same flexibility when building a content management system. You might have text-heavy articles, video links with resolution specs, and audio podcasts. Instead of creating 3 entirely separate tables and trying to figure out complex joins, they all live cohesively in one single shared collection.
Up next, Section 5, embedding and aggregation.
In a relational database, if you have a customer's order, it's stored in a separate table and linked back with a foreign key.
But MongoDB allows for a radically different approach, and that's embedded documents. You can actually take a customer's individual orders and store them as a genuinely nested list directly inside the main customer document. So when you query that customer, boom, you get all their orders instantly in a single read. No complex joins required whatsoever.
And for complex analytics, we have the aggregation pipeline. This directly parallels the pandas group by concepts we've covered before. It allows you to chain processing stages, like filtering, grouping, and calculating, right at the database level. Instead of dragging massive datasets over your network into Python just to process them, you let the database do all the heavy lifting. This dramatically saves on memory and network transfer time.
Finally, Section 6, making the right choice. Now, to be clear, you don't just throw out SQL completely. That is definitely not the goal here. You absolutely choose a relational database like PostgreSQL when your application demands strict enforced consistency across interconnected tables. But you definitely choose MongoDB when your data structure naturally evolves, is highly variable, or contains deeply nested information that you want to access as a single unit.
To summarize everything we've unpacked today, PyMongo unlocks a highly flexible document paradigm. You get to interact using native Python dictionaries, your documents are JSON-like and schemaless, and embedding related data completely bypasses the need for complex joins. It's an approach that perfectly complements the rigid, structured systems we've learned about before.
Which leaves us with a pretty fascinating problem. What if your data is evolving, but your architecture absolutely mandates a rigid relational database like SQL Alchemy? How do you gracefully change strict tables without breaking the entire system? Well, in our next explainer, we're going to introduce Alembic. It's a dedicated migration tool designed to solve that exact problem. It is a total game changer. So make sure you stay with us. Thanks for joining me and keep exploring.